the crisis,
Hmm.
the response, and the cure.
Right.
And so right now he's trying to get the second movie.
And it will not be
You recording this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
it will not be U.S. soldiers that come to face us. It'll
Again, we're talking to Patrick out here. He's guarding the Bundy Ranch. He came from Kansas, soldier business, and left your personal life behind in Kansas to come over here and defend our constitutional rights along with Bundy's. And we again thank you, brother, for doing that. It's awesome, awesome job. God bless you. Um, so you're of the mindset that this is worth saving. I mean, this is talking about our liberties, our Constitution, our constitutional rights, um, and
Well, this is our right to, to reclaim state sovereignty over its public lands. To, as far as the family and individual rights go, we have, our right to free agency, which is dwindling away. And if we don't stop this now, soon we'll all be corralled up and we won't be able to do anything now.
so in your mind, I was looking at a little piece on Harry Reid, Senator Harry Reid of Las Vegas, and he calls you guys an extremists, uh, terrorists, homegrown terrorists here. What would
Well,
you say to Harry Reid right now if you had him in front of you?
if what I would tell him is, being labeled a domestic terrorist is almost a compliment because our forefathers who founded this country were the same. The only thing we don't wish to burn down the government or anything like that. I sure don't want to take out the government. But we need to establish back to our
Founding
roots.
fathers.
Yeah,
Founding fathers when they had the patriots going out there
right.
and defending this country,
The
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 militia.
point the point is we have a system now of total control, and that's not what it was meant to be. It was meant to be a true republic, and we don't have it anymore.
A lot of I've traveled from here to Colombia, South America, and a lot of the problem is the influx of illegal immigrants. Now I'm Mexican.
Right.
We are down in Tijuana, and we're crossing the border, and we're seeing every day hundreds of thousands of people cross the border legally,
Hmm.
um, but never to the extent where we had today, where you have 10,000 coming over in one piece said in a week, and that's incredible. How long can a country stand that kind of extra weight in terms of having to care for these babies, these children, the diseases they carry over? It's not feasible what Nancy Pelosi says that we should care for other countries' babies in this country when they're not here documented legally. If they were born here, it'd be another thing. But I found that there's not only a dumbing down here in America when you ask some Americans here that are upperly mobile
Hmm.
uh, if they know about what's going on here in Bunkersville on the Bundy Ranch. But down in South America, we have 25-year-olds who graduated college from Australia to Germany, just traveling around, that I've asked questions about that. They have no clue. They have no clue as to Agenda 21.
Hmm.
They have no clue as to the NDAA. They have no clue that we're right now living under a kind of martial law. And we're kind of right now living under a dictatorship
Oh yeah.
under Barack Obama. And they would kind of shrug their shoulders as if they didn't care. What would you say to those people if you could speak Spanish?
If I could speak Spanish. Well, what I'd tell them is to wake up. I mean, there's no sense in being naive. Knowledge is power. I don't understand why people are allowing themselves to be dumbed down. Uh, the reality of it is this government, just like you said, is a dictatorship. And it doesn't matter if it's Obama there, it'll be the next guy that steps up. I mean, I can't even I think about it and it's kind of ironic, but walking out my front door, what law have I not broken already today?
Exactly.
Okay, so the laws are ridiculous. Police, they're arming themselves like a military. They're getting all these armored assault vehicles and all these weapons. What was it? I heard that Department of Homeland Security bought 1 billion
Rounds of
rounds
ammunition,
of
yes.
ammunition.
Right.
Now, who the hell are they planning on using that on? They're planning on using it on the American people.
That's true.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't care whether you wear a badge or what you are. If you violate my God-given rights, God gave me these rights, and if you violate them and you put my life in jeopardy, I'm going to take you down.
Okay.
I don't care who you are.
Amen, brother.
I mean, it's just bottom line. And what they've done to these people is horrendous.
Talking about
If
the Bundys.
if we wouldn't have been here for the Bundys, who knows what would have happened to them?
It was us next. It'll be us next. And do you feel, as an American, and I'm glad you're explaining this to my Latino brothers down across the border, because that's who I'm targeting. I want to convert this into Spanish at some point in time. So when they come over here and cross, they're aware that Obama is not their friend. He's actually their enemy, because he will put them in a FEMA camp as well.
Oh, yeah,
And
they'll
they'll be enslaved, but they just don't know it right now. They just want their free stuff. They're just going to believe what the El Presidente says, and come over here. And it's the same plan, because they have an agreement with Canada, Mexico, and the United States to lower the borders and make it all one country and do what they did in Europe. And basically, it's a one monetary system. And unless the American people wake up and realize that they're losing their sovereignty, or they have actually lost a lot of their rights and their sovereignty, that now what you're doing here, and take a good look at this, because they're after his Second Amendment rights, after our Second Amendment rights, which we will never, ever give up, correct?
Oh, no, I won't.
Yes.
I don't even, like it's illegal not to register a weapon, okay? I refuse to register a weapon. They don't need to know what guns I have. They have no right.
That's true. Exactly.
My right to bear arms, and it doesn't matter who you are. I don't care who you are.
Oh, but you can't have an AK-47.
Oh, yeah, you can't have an AK-47. Well, let me tell you, buddy, there's a lot of people with AK-47s. The point is they're trying to regulate the good citizens, the people who abide by the law. They're making it harder for them to get guns, but yet I know if I was a criminal, I could get a gun that day, and the government wouldn't even know about it.
That's true. You try to go down to a place called Michoacan in Mexico and try to open up a business. And then you'll see what it's going to be like in America, where people are running away from it. They're running to the border to get away from that right now, because it's lawlessness. The difference between Mexico and the United States right now is time.
Yep.
Just a matter of time. So I say to all the people down there in Colombia and Australia, and the people I spoke to in Germany that were traveling, you're 25 years old, maybe you plan on being a yuppie, but guess what? When the United States goes down, where are you going to go? This is the last bastion of liberty on this earth. That document, the Constitution, was the greatest document ever written by people who believed in God, who feared God, who prayed on their knees before they wrote that Constitution. We don't have that today in today's office. And you know what? When you take God out of the Constitution, when you take God out of your country, when you take God out of everything, you're going to get this. And so we as Christian Americans have got to come together and stick together. And if the churches in America would preach from the pulpit what we're talking about here, then I think this country could change overnight.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a matter of an awakening. The American people need an awakening, and we don't need a violent stint to
Oh no.
against our government. All it takes is a matter of just saying no. All you gotta do is say no.
What would you think if pastors around the country, from Dr. David Jeremiah to Charles Stanley, and churches in small towns got together and spoke on this subject here, that we almost lost our freedom? This was almost going to be a civil war out here.
Well, you know what? The reality is like pre-American Revolution, what did the people do? The people got their news through their church. Okay, they talked about these issues. The community as a whole, hashed these issues out. And just like the relevance as far as before Lexington and Concord, all those men were organized, and guess where they, did all their organizing and everything? They did it through the church.
To the churches.
Yeah.
True. That's exactly true.
So I honestly think, as far as our religious leaders go, and pastors, all them, they need to stop being quiet about these things. They need to start talking about it.
There's a Pastor Manning out in New York who is not afraid to call Obama out on what he actually is. If you get a time, go to a YouTube video called Pastor Manning. I'll write it down for you. But he's an amazing pastor who's fearless because he knows God is with him. If pastors would realize that and just stand up for what is right, do you think they're afraid of losing their 501(c)(3)s here in the United States?
Well,
or fear of being condemned, or they're losing their...
I asked quite a few people, why they don't say no and why they don't stand up, and they're not pastors or anything, but for example, one of my own family members stated to me, I said to him, what Obama's doing is wrong. Our government is doing wrong. You see these wrongs happening. I said, why not act? And his reply was, I have a job, I have a house, I have a truck, I have a car. So he's taking his property before his own,
God help him,
God-given rights that he's giving away for meaningless property. What happens to that property when you die? You don't take it with you.
That's what it says in the
So
scripture.
why is it so valuable? Why do we take material things, physical material things, and put them above everything else? We don't need to.
True, brother. Yeah.
By God, I can do without all that. Hell, I sleep in a hammock outside every day.
With the mosquitoes out here.
The mosquitoes, the 115 heat.
Wow. You're a true patriot.
Honestly, you don't need those things. Your rights are more important. The point is what we fight for today. If we get this done and over with and get everything squared away, we'll be able to reap the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, our children can grow up living in a true republic, a true form of government that stands by and obeys the constitutional laws.
Do you think the National Defense the National Defense Authorization Act is constitutional? Do you think executive orders are constitutional?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Why is that? What's your opinion? What is the national... Explain to me what the National Defense Authorization does for my Latino brothers down in Latin America.
Well, okay. I'd have to look into more of what their operations are.
Can I go into your home and under the National Defense
no.
Authorization Act and take you by force and put you incarcerate you and without you calling a lawyer?
Nope. I have the right to legal, and I have the right to you can't...
Speedy trial?
Yeah, speedy trial. I can't be just incarcerated and not charged with something.
But under today's law, I'm taking the devil's advocate.
Well, yeah, today's law, I understand the whole holding without any reason to and all that. And yeah, it's unconstitutional.
It's unconstitutional, isn't it? Okay.
It is very unconstitutional. Okay. The fact is if unless they have a crime that they are holding me on, then I won't go. I won't abide. That means that law enforcement officer either has two choices. He can get back,
or shoot you.
He can get back in his car and go on his way, or he can resist me and whatever the outcome is that it is. Because the second he aggresses me with force without me doing anything wrong, his title, his badge as far as the law enforcement officer is over.
That's true. Yes, that's true. Is there? We're going back to California, and I'm looking forward to going to one of these state checkpoints,
Mhm.
and I'm looking forward to answering or not answering any of their questions because legally they're not supposed to be there, and stopping Americans from being mobile from state to state.
Yeah, we have the right to travel.
We have the right to travel, and they don't have the right to ask us any questions uh, or detain us illegally.
Now, I've never been to California, so I would assume that this is like a port of entry,
Yes,
and they stop all vehicles.
you can see it on YouTube, brother. They're doing that right now, just like Nazi Germany. And so a lot of Americans that have to read the Constitution and understand the Bill of Rights, they have to be aware that if they just answer their questions, you're falling right into the hands of these globalists who want to incarcerate you and put you in, according to Agenda 21, puts you into FEMA camps. And so my thing is, I would like to speak to more on that, but we've got to get going. And I just wanted to come out here and meet some patriots, and like yourself. And I wanted to ask Clive and Bundy a few questions. But we're coming to you live from Bundy Ranch, and this is a working ranch. This is not green pastures with white fences in Santa Barbara, California. This is an actual working ranch, and why they are coming out here to pick on Clive and Bundy, a rancher who's been out here for, his family goes back to the 1800s here, using that river out there, right?
Yeah, well, when his family first came here, they were up on the Arizona Strip with all the other pioneers that came here, and it's really interesting. They just basically homesteaded up there on faith. They don't have a river source or anything.
Wow.
They have to dig their own ponds and collect water.
Wow.
And that's how they did it. Eventually, his dad came here and established the rights here, and the rights were established well before BLM.
Well before BLM, which supersedes their coming out here and
Right.
trying to take him off of his own
Now,
property.
now, when BLM first was out here, it wasn't bad. Okay, BLM's job was to basically determine your parcel of land between all the other people who use the public land. So it basically put up boundaries to abide by to run your livestock, which was fine. They were, that's what they were paid to do, was to mark that out on paper and everybody abide by it and govern themselves. But it wasn't until now what you see the BLM as. They claim themselves to be law enforcement.
They're not law enforcement.
They have law enforcement lights on their vehicles. They have it posted on their vehicles that they're law enforcement.
Do you feel that goes against Cause Comitatus?
Oh yeah. They are an occupying military force on U.S. soil.
Somebody needs to go to jail for these crimes that they're committing, right? Because they're the ones that are the criminals, correct?
Look at all the damage they've done. They damage vital water sources for not only the livestock, but for all the indigenous wild animals that are out here, like the quail, and even the tortoise benefit off of climate. Okay.
Incredible, and they're the ones that the government says that they have to protect, but they haven't protected them. They don't care.
No.
They don't care about
What I heard is they were breeding these tortoises to the point to where they got too many. So what were they doing? They were euthanizing them.
Incredible, incredible.
The other thing that they do is they've, like BLM, just not too long ago, they dumped a chemical in this river, into the Virgin River here, to kill off a minnow.
You're kidding me.
A
Wow,
fish.
incredible, amazing.
Now, here's my thing.
But the media will take that lie. They'll take that and spin that. I mean, they're making them look like the good guy, and Bundy like the criminal. And so that's all
this man here, I've never. If you've spent any time with his family and think that he's a criminal, I mean, you'd be blown away to know that, he's labeled as one, because he's a loving man. Anybody he meets, he'll give him a hug. How many people will greet other people that way?
Not too many in these days.
His family, the whole family's close. And that's the other thing that the BLM needs to understand. Just if Cliven's gone, it don't matter. Uh, 14 other kids will take up the ranch.
Well, according to them, once he passes away, the government will move in and take his property. That's what they're saying, yeah. So.
Well, I hear all sorts of stuff. I hear we're going to get raided almost every week. You know.
What's the level pressure now? Before I close out, what's the pressure now between April when it started and now? Has it calmed down? Have you seen any BLM out here?
No. Through all of our patrols that we do not see BLM. You know, we have people.
You say you do patrols, but you do patrols out up here on the mountains?
Oh, yeah, we do patrols on the mountain all the way.
Did you get a shot out there on that mountain?
Around Lake Mead, all over this area, this side of Lake Mead.
Mm-hmm.
We patrol.
Wow. So, and that covers about what? How many square miles?
Hundreds of miles.
Wow, incredible. Good for you, brother.
But it's to ensure all these cattle run on these hundreds of miles. So it's ensuring that his property, the safety of his property. Okay? Those cattle, they have no right. They've already killed, what, 16 of them counted?
Separating the calves from the mothers.
Well, yeah, they were just literally shooting. There was one bull that they shot, you know, I don't know how many times.
Five times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shot 5 times because they thought he was a threat. But look at, you know, when a bull's a threat, he would knock that out. But there was no damage to the pens out there.
No.
And it showed no
No,
violence.
they were just having fun shooting animals.
So these are the SS Nazis, called the BLM, that are out here causing the real crimes and perpetrating the real crimes. And so
the point is that we, the people, showed up out here, and we weren't the aggressors. They were.
Yeah.
They were the ones that invoked all the violence on everybody. Okay, even standoff. You know, they say, oh, well, they had guns pointed at them. Well, I don't think they realized that the guns that were pointed at them were just to ensure the huge crowd below their safety. Okay.
I loved it when the snipers were on the bridge, the militia. They took the high ground.
And the thing
who
is,
was the guy Ryan that was out there? That
Ryan Bundy?
No, not Ryan Bundy.
Ryan Payne.
Ryan Payne. Thank God. Who is this brother? Who former military and took the head lead on this and was smart enough to get the high ground on that.
Well, you know, the militia out here, number one SOP is not to shoot at them unless they were to aggress somebody or
yeah, 100 people on horses out there and people walking out there saying, "Hey, I'm unarmed."
Yeah.
And you have one out there asking.
And you know, the other thing too is they say, "Oh, Cliven, he told the militia to do that, and he showed them where to set up sniper positions." And, you know, Cliven never.
Again, that's a lie.
Yeah, Cliven never asked the militia to do anything. Cliven never asked the militia to even show up here.
That's true. That's
He
true.
never asked them. And today,
didn't Ryan Payne? Didn't he have
Ryan,
something?
yeah, Ryan, the Oath Keepers, they organized all this and came out here.
God bless them.
Even without the family asking, because they
God
had
bless
contacted the family.
They contacted the family.
And the family did not express that there was a need.
Okay.
You know, they weren't going to ask for the help, but people showed up anyway to help.
I think that was God intervention. What do you think? A divine intervention.
I mean, we talk about that.
Yeah, divine intervention, absolutely. Brother Patrick, it was wonderful out here coming out and speaking to you on camera. It is 111 degrees out here, so we are sweating. And but if you can, maybe if you could walk up the road and take some pictures of the road, actually, where was that the bridge out there that come in where they had them lined up, the snipers? Was that the bridge that?
Well, yeah, from what I understood, there were snipers there. On the interstate is where the actual standoff happened.
Okay.
And it's mile marker 115, I think.
Mile marker 115.
Anyway, that's where the BLM compound and everything was.
Okay.
And the people marched that way to take that compound.
Gotcha.
To get those cattle. So.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, sweating. You know, where does